Good evening, Mr. Arora. So you have joined me finally. Let some more people join in and then we are going to start with our live. So by now, all my members, all my family, Instagram family must be knowing who is my guest this evening. And I'll try to incorporate some of your questions with my guest. So yeah, it's almost time and I'll just ask my guest to join in. So Mr. Arora, I request and join us live. Good evening, Mr. Arora. How are you?
I'm very good, lovely. How are you? Good to hear from you.
I'm very well, and after seeing you, you're looking dashing as usual.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
So, Mr. Arora, am I audible to you? Am
You
I
no,
clear?
you're fine. You're fine. What about me? Can you hear me as well?
Yes, I can hear you pretty well. And if there is any echo or if there is any disturbance in the audio, my people, please let me know in the inbox. Please let me know in the comment box if there is any echo anywhere during my life. So yeah, all your fans and my Instagram family have joined in. Let's start today's conversation. Let's uncork with Lovely Gupta.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine, lovely.
Sir, sir, let's begin from Assam to Mumbai, from modeling to acting to a perfect antagonist,
Mm-hmm.
and
Well,
then from Bollywood to to the industries in the South. Let's recapitulate your your career so far.
well, lovely. It's been a very long journey for me. I started, modeling to earn some pocket money when I was in college. And that also, I had no idea of modeling, but I definitely knew that I somehow deep inside wanted to be an actor. But since I was born in Assam, it was something which you couldn't talk about openly. And if I ever did that also, I think I always got a laugh back, like, okay, yes, okay, you're thinking of to you ever thought about being an actor. So I kept it to myself. And as happened, life took me from Assam to Chennai, where I studied in a boarding in place called Triveni Academy. And then later, I kind of moved to Bangalore. And that's where modeling started. I studied in a college called St. Joseph Commerce. And a lot of friends who were studying there would come up to me and say, "Hey, dude, you should model, man. You look good." And, it was always flattering to hear that kind of thing. But then I asked them, how can you model? What is the procedure? So I think that question kind of led me to the right path. And I figured it out that I needed a portfolio to kind of start this. And so the portfolio happened. And to my luck, I think modeling happened instantly as soon as I got my portfolio. And I got to work with a very, very renowned brand called Newport Jeans. When Newport Jeans had launched, it was it was like an all India release, and it was an ad which I got for myself. And that's the time the question arises to me is, if somebody's paying me to stand in front of the camera and he's paying me handsomely, why shouldn't I think about this profession more seriously? And that's when I decided that I would do is parallelly work modeling for my time pass and make some money and not be dependent on my parents. And I would study as well. So I finished my hotel management professionally. And as soon as I finished my hotel management, I decided to go to Bombay. And I knew that going to Bombay wouldn't be easy just to go there. So I realized that I should participate a pageant. And that's when Gladrax came in. And Gladrax was one of the finest pageant for men that time. And I decided to take part on that. And I came first runners up. So that kind of told me, okay, now Bombay is inviting you. Let's take a step forward. And then I went to Bombay. I had a, I didn't realize that modeling would take a good 12 to 15 years of my life. And I started modeling with a very small amount of money, and then slowly started climbing step by step. Also keeping in mind that if I become a successful model, I would get a chance to get into movies. So that inspired me to become a successful model. And I suddenly started getting music videos. And that music videos gave me the first taste of acting. And then I realized acting has a larger part to play than modeling. And you need to do a lot of homework at that time. But Bombay was such a place where, you know, to make a living there, you really need to work. And that kind of what happened is I started getting a lot of modeling work, and I got too much indulged into modeling. And I started doing a lot of ramp shows and did a lot of music videos and stuff, a lot of experience. So the best part happened is I gained a lot of experience to that. And by now, got an offer which was for a film. But the only part what I really, I don't say it was a mistake, but because I was not from the fraternity or from the industry, I didn't take the right decision on my first film. Like everybody, I wanted to be a hero. I came in, I did my first film, which was a girl protagonist film. And then I started doing films, keeping myself that I watched so much of Hollywood, and I started doing films, and I thought it's a new India is coming up, and I wanted to be a more versatile person and learn from every, and being a newcomer, very new directors and new producers were giving me chance. So I jumped in and I took all the offer. I won't complain about it. And I took all that offer. And then by time I realized that because film is a very bigger medium, your decision has to be very careful. You have to take a bigger decision. You can't just do an ad and get away with it. But a film, I can't get away with it. If you do a bad film, you will be noticed. You do a good film, you will be noticed. So I did couple of them, and by then I realized that I think it's time for me to start something new. And then it was many years in Bombay by now, and I thought things had become monotonous, and I had done hotel management, so I wanted to start a restaurant business. So that's how I decided that I'm going to move away from Bombay, and I'm going to get into restaurant. But the idea of getting into the restaurant was that I'll come back for films, but I will have the more power to say no to films which are bad. Because what happens is when you are in Bombay, anything comes your way as a survival, or as you feeling that, okay, this will turn out to be something. Maybe this is something which I should try it out. It's on my way. So I went ahead doing that. And then, I took a back step, and my decisions were not so right that time. So I went back to Bangalore and I started doing restaurant. And, to my luck, I call myself a Destiny's child as well. So when I was in Bombay, Bangalore, doing my restaurant, and I was just picking up, start the restaurant after 3 years of working hard there, you would be surprised that Jab We Met came to me. So I was like, okay, Jab We Met, okay, Ali, I've never heard of him. Who is this production house? I've never heard of him. So I was very carefree attitude. I said, किसको मिलना है, क्यों मिलना है? मैं तो बैंगलोर में हूँ. अच्छा, आपको मिलना है, मैं showreel भेज देता हूँ. So I sent the showreel to the wherever concerned had asked me. And then at night at 11 o'clock, the concerned calls me up and says, I just got time to show Imtiaz sir your showreel. Can you come at 11 o'clock in the morning to the office? And I'm in Bangalore right now. And I said, oh my God, that's like something very, very, somebody, and Kareena Kapoor is the heroine, Shahid Kapoor. So only these two names are exciting me. Rest, Imtiaz had just done one film by then, Sochana Tha. And Ashtavinayak was a big production.
But I'll like to interrupt here. Like still today, people remember two things: Geet, Anshuman. No matter you played a second lead, but still, people remember Geet and Anshuman only. In fact, to be very, very honest, I was like preparing myself that I'll not call you Mr. Anshuman, I'll not call you Mr. Anshuman, I'll call you Mr. Tarun or Mr. Arora. I'll just preparing about that.
Well, I love the name Anshuman because, it really gave me recognition. And also, as I said, I also have a very big sympathy for Anshuman, because Anshuman is not bad as he portray. He's a nice guy, just living his life. trying to make a living, but mishap happens. So in life, we have ups and downs. So we just have to take things. Tell me, lovely. So
Definitely.
as my journey, Jab We Met came, and I thought, I came in, I did the film. Imtiaz immediately selected me. I think it was the film which I signed in 15 to 20 minutes of meeting Imtiaz. Usually we go through a lot of process, we go through auditions, we go
Mhm.
through all that. I think Imtiaz just saw Anshuman in me when I came in. And it was a very funny episode when I met him. I had come from the airport with my suitcase in my hand. Imtiaz just looked at me and he must be wondering where this guy is coming with his suitcase. He had no idea I was living in Bangalore. So, and then he calls me and he says, sit down. Okay, bata kya halchal hai? Kya chal raha hai? Kya chal raha hai? I'm like, Imtiaz, please. आपने मुझे जिस चीज के लिए बुलाया है अभी बता दो क्योंकि मेरी 2 बजे की फ्लाइट है मेरे को जाना
Right.
है मैं नहीं रुक सकता आपके लिए हाँ मैं नहीं रुक सकता आपके लिए तो इम्तियाज बोलता है इम्तियाज को लगा ये तो अंशुमन है जो गीत को बोल रहा है मैं रुक नहीं सकता आई थिंक इम्तियाज को लगा अगर मैं इसको अभी कंफर्म नहीं करूं तो ये बैंगलोर चला जाएगा मुझे अभी डिसीजन लेना है सो आई थिंक आई
You
पुट
are definitely a Destiny's Child then. That means you are definitely a Destiny's Child.
I totally agree with you. It's Destiny's Child. I did Jab We Met, and then everybody told me, come back to Bombay. Come back to Bombay. It's a big hit. You should. And I kept asking myself that, is मेरे को मतलब अभी वापस जाके अंशुमन ना बना दे वहाँ बॉम्बे फिर से मुझे कोई ना बना दे तो I took a pause and I said no I know that I need to brush my craft more so I stayed back in Bangalore. I did theater then, and that's the time. I had a self-realization when Jab We Met started peaking up every year. Everybody started realizing me as Anshuman. As year passed by, suddenly Jab We Met became more famous. And I'm like, what is it trying to tell me? It's a sign, it's giving me a sign, but I'm not taking it seriously. And it happened. I did my restaurant, and then I realized, my God, इतना hard work करना था restaurant में तो मैं acting में कर लेता यार. उसमें मैं ज़्यादा successful हो जाता क्योंकि the work hard which you had to put in here was more than what I had to put in acting. Because running a restaurant is not easy. It has to be passionate. It's fun, but yeah, it comes with lot of pains and lot of other things to give good food to people and keep them happy. So I said, I think I need to go back. But by then, I think it had been almost 10 to 11 years. I said, now who's going to take me in 11 years? I go back. But the name Anshuman and Jab We Met gave me confidence that I'm sure people would like to watch you once more. People want to see you, that Anshuman ka kya hua. And that's the time I said, I'm going to come up with a new route. I'm going to get myself fitter. I'm not going to play a good guy anymore. I'm going to play seriously bad, and I'm going to play much, much worse than Anshuman. I told to myself, and I said, okay, I'm going to set forward now. And as a Destiny's Child, God heard me. And on my Facebook, a Tamil director messages me that I'm looking for a villain, and you look like my villain. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? And suddenly from who are you? And then I figured out he's a Tamil director, and he's quite, the production house was very big. And I said, after Anshuman, somebody trying to ask me to play this big villain, I said, Tarun, this is a challenge to you. You thought you want to become an actor, na? अभी तेरा भी लैंग्वेज नहीं है, तेरा भी जोन नहीं है, और तेरे को भी विलन के लिए कोई कंफर्म कर रहा है. तो मैंने बोला अभी तो ये करना ही है भाई, कुछ भी हो जाए. So that's when
So what difference do you see between the industries? Like working style, is there any difference between the two industries, Bollywood and industries from the South?
Well, only see when I worked in Jab We Met, that was my last film as a professional big film. Everybody was very serious and everybody was very punctual and everybody, I could see a lot of passion. I actually, when I was shooting only, मुझे पता चल गया था भाई ये तो दिल वाले दुल्हनिया बन रही है. In my mind, I told my producer also at that time, sir, ये तो दिल वाले दुल्हनिया जैसे फेमस होने वाली है. तो वो हंस रहा था. हाँ. तो बस जब हो गई उसमें फीलिंग आ गई थी. तो जब मैं तमिल फिल्म के पास भी गया तो वहां भी क्या था कि बहुत पैशन ड्रिवन था. उनका क्या था कि वो बहुत सिस्टमैटिकली काम करते हैं. वो सुबह सुबह काम शुरू कर देते हैं क्योंकि उनका वेदर भी वैसा है कि यू हैव टू वर्क इन द मॉर्निंग्स एंड आफ्टरनून यू कैन गो लिटिल sluggish and then evening you pick up very so because of the weather. So I'm not going to say that everybody is making a good film, ओनली द पॉइंट वाज, वहां मुझे वो अगर मेरे बारे बुरा भी बोल रहे थे तो मुझे पता नहीं चलता, मैं खाली कॉन्फिडेंटली अच्छा ही सोचता रहता था क्योंकि आई डोंट नो
Hmm.
द लैंग्वेज. एंड in Bollywood, I could see the vibe. I could see when I would go working, because after that when I worked for Lakshmi for this last film of mine, I could see the vibe.
Exactly, sir. I was coming to this only. Like before this, you have spoken in media about not getting good roles after Jab We Met. Also, some mistakes which you did career-wise, and then your fans watches you with a powerful comeback in Lakshmi. So, what advice would you like to give to people, especially the young aspirants? What mistakes you were talking about, and why did, according to you, what took so much of sort of leap between Jab We Met and Lakshmi?
You know, my if I have to give an advice to any of my young mates, I would say is, I didn't waste time. I did bad films. Today, when I sit back and I think, and when I had to do that Tamil film, it's the experience what I gained from that made me
Hmm.
really work on the Tamil film where the field was not mine. I knew what I'm getting into. I knew exactly what I need to deliver. Only the language is not mine. I said my expressions and my body has to be devoted to that character. I just forgot language and I just got into the character. And I just realized that language is just the medium we talk. When we are expressing as an actor, language is out. It's all expression and it's all feeling inside and how you are. So that is what real acting, and I think that is what South is teaching me to become a much finer artist by doing many work. And I love it that they are loving me and they're repeating me. You know, I'm doing so many films in South that I won't say that I'm not so much missing Bollywood. If I be frank enough, I'm not missing Bollywood because I'm very happy with South. They give me sort of respect, they treat me well, they give me great roles. And then, you know, whatever I put in, I don't have to do unnecessary PR with them where I have to go and every time say hello and try to be okay,
In
I'm around.
fact, Mr. Tarun, in fact, many of your fans from the south have written something in Tamil which I'm not able to recognize exactly what. But many of your fans I have seen, somebody has written like, I'm from Kerala, I am from, I don't know, Satri or Satari, kuch, something like that. It's
Just,
written, I don't know exactly.
just show my heart sign. Say Tarun sending his heart. You all have given me lot of love and respect, and I have a very soft corner for South, and I love Bollywood. But I think, you know how I've studied in Bangalore, I've studied in Chennai, so I think there's something. Maybe
Full
I was a
circle,
South Indian in my previous life. You know, so. And
maybe.
but frankly speaking, lovely, I call myself a true blue Indian because I am a Punjabi born in Assam, studied in Chennai, lived in Bangalore, then Bombay, and now I live in
Right.
Goa. But only thing what I feel sometimes sad is when people call me outsider. And I'm like, my
Oh.
God, if I am the outsider in my own country, who can be more Indian than me? You know, so sometimes you just take that little thing and say, okay, just because I'm not staying in Punjab and Delhi doesn't mean that I don't belong to this country. You know, sometimes
Mhm.
that hurts me, but otherwise I'm fine. Yeah.
Speaking about something positive, Mr. Arora, any producer, any director, or maybe co-actor with whom you have been able to be taken some of his or her good habits, or maybe some advice which you have followed so far in your life.
Yeah, there is. In fact, I have a he's become a big star now. We don't talk as much. But at one time, I was his senior model. His name is John Ibrahim. And
Oh wow.
John was the one who would always give me good advice and say, Tarun, पता है तू पिक्चर के लिए बना है, तू क्या एक ऐसे सोचता है, ऐसे क्या करता है, तू ना खाली 10 डायरेक्टर को ढूंढ और उनको ही फॉलो कर, बाकी को मत कर. And that time I was like, I just didn't realize that where John was coming, because John was 10 floors in his thinking more than me that time. And I was trying to survive. You know, I was trying to make my living in Bombay when John had already put himself to a position that Hrithik Roshan और अभिषेक मेरे classmate थे, मैं तो उनसे आगे जाने वाला हूँ. You know, in his mind. And he was always doing things on that way. And he always would come and tell me, brother, don't let anybody put a price to your rate. You put a price, they'll come back. डोंट लेट, इफ यू टेल देम कि आप जो भी दे दो ना, तो देन दे विल ब्लडी मेक यू अ बेगर। तो मेरे को तब उसकी ज्यादा बात समझ नहीं आती थी, बट जब मैं आज जब सोचता हूँ, मैंने बोला जॉन, आज तू जहाँ है, यू डिजर्व इट बिकॉज यू थॉट लाइक दैट। However, I still feel you are a stone actor, but you are a super marketing guy. You are a good guy. You know exactly where you want to be. At the end of the day, it's not about uh, it's not about that how you do it. It's just how you get the goal. So you know, it's that is what it is, and that was the best thing about him is he got the goal. You know, if people talk about him कि उसको 2 एक्सप्रेशन आते, 3 आते, तो मैं बोला आप भी 2 एक्सप्रेशन से जॉन अब्राहम बन जाओ। हमने तो बहुत
एग्जैक्टली।
एक्सप्रेशन, तो हमने बोला हमने तो बहुत एक्सप्रेशन ट्राई किए, हम नहीं बन पाए।
आपने देखी उनकी पठान?
मैंने अभी तक नहीं देखी, मगर मैं जितने भी उसके आर्टिकल पढ़ रहा हूँ, क्योंकि मेरी क्रांति पिक्चर रिलीज हुई थी और मैं उससे बहुत एक्साइटेड था, कन्नड़ा की पिक्चर, तो एक ही साथ रिलीज हुई थी, तो मैं देख रहा था कि हम कितनी बुरी तरह पिटने वाले हैं पठान के सामने, बट हमारा साउथ इंडियन मूवी और कन्नड़ा मूवी जिंदाबाद, वो फिर से बॉक्स ऑफिस में सक्सेसफुल हो गई, एंड दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स इट, यू नो, मेक मी फील की perfect, you know, at least parallelly I am also standing with the stars, positioning myself doing films. Maybe that is Bollywood, I am doing Sandalwood, Collywood, Tollywood, whatever we call that, but I am happy and I am very satisfied with my creative, you know, decisions and my thing right now.
And so are your fans, because back to back messages आ रहे हैं, all the very best. I saw your latest movie, आपकी any new films coming up, so they are back to back actually messaging. More messages are from South, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm so
सर,
glad.
अब बात करना चाहेंगे आपके पर्सनल लाइफ के बारे में. हाउ अ डे इज लाइक इन योर लाइफ, एंड व्हाट अबाउट यू, योर वाइफ एंड योर अवार्ड?
uh, I live a very very simple life, lovely. I don't have too much. मैं रजनीकांत का फैन हूँ, मुझे ये पता है कि फिएट गाड़ी भी मुझे वहीं पहुंचाएगी जो बीएमडब्ल्यू पहुंचाएगी, वही एक घड़ी भी
क्या
वही,
बात!
जो टाइटन घड़ी भी वही बताएगी जो रोलेक्स बताएगी। तो मैं रजनीकांत को बहुत अच्छी तरह से फॉलो करता हूँ और उसके मैं बहुत सारे मतलब उससे इंस्पायर्ड होता हूँ हमेशा। तो मैं एक सिंपल लाइफ रहता हूँ, मैं प्रिटेंशियस इसलिए मैं गोवा में रहता हूँ क्योंकि मैं प्रिटेंशियस नहीं हूँ। मैं वहां जाके लोग क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं एक्टर को जैसे रहने का, मैं उनकी तरह उनको खुश करने के लिए नहीं रहना चाहता, मैं अपने आप को खुश रखना चाहता हूँ। तो मैं गोवा में रहता हूँ, मैं यहाँ पे अपने आप को बोलता हूँ मैं बैटरी चार्ज करता हूँ अपना यहाँ पे, मैं यहाँ के सीरियसली वर्कआउट करता हूँ, मैं डिसिप्लिन से रहता हूँ, अच्छा से खाता हूँ, सोता हूँ अपने, जब मेरे ऑडिशंस या डायलॉग्स आते हैं या कोई लैंग्वेज की बुक्स पढ़ने लग जाता हूँ, तो एक्सरसाइज बहुत होती है। आउटडोर का मेरा रनिंग और फुटबॉल और ये सब जितने भी स्पोर्ट्स गेम्स हैं मुझे गोवा में खेलने को चांस मिलता है, बॉम्बे में नहीं मिलता था, मगर यहाँ पे क्योंकि अच्छी जगह है तो मैं ये सब को जितना यूटिलाइज कर सकता हूँ मैं यूटिलाइज करता हूँ। और मेरी वाइफ और मैं बहुत अच्छे फ्रेंड्स हैं और हम एक दूसरे के साथ बहुत मतलब इंजॉय करते हैं एक दूसरे की कंपनी को, एंड शी इज लवली, उससे भी मुझे बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। वो मुझे पेशेंस सिखाती है और वो मुझे हमेशा कॉन्फिडेंस मेरे अंदर भरती रहती है कि यू आर गुड एंड डोंट वरी, सो इट्स लवली। सो मैं कुछ कंप्लेन नहीं करूंगा, गॉड्स बीन स्वीट।
मतलब रियल लाइफ में आपको अपनी गीत मिल गई?
रियल लाइफ में मुझे गीत से भी गीत की डबल मिल गई, ट्रिपल मिल गई
वाह!
मुझे।
आई होप योर वाइफ इज वॉचिंग दिस, आई होप,
I,
अगर नहीं होगा तो मैं ये क्लिप उनको भेज दूंगी।
मेरी वाइफ
आई होप।
मेरी वाइफ सोशल मीडिया में है नहीं, वो ना एक पिक्चर क्लिक करना चाहती है, ना मेरा पिक्चर क्लिक करती है, ना अपना पिक्चर क्लिक करती है। मैं तो उसको हमेशा बोलता रहता हूँ इंस्टाग्राम के लिए एक फोटो खींच दो मेरा, तो वो उसको उसमें उसको बड़ा एफर्ट लगता है, तो मैं उसको बोलता ही नहीं हूँ वैसे। तो आप उसको ज्यादा सोशल मीडिया में भी नहीं देखोगे, मुझे नहीं लगता वो देखेगी ये, बट श्योर मैं
नहीं, मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप कर दूंगी, आप उन्हें व्हाट्सएप कर दीजिएगा या अपने फोन से ही दिखा दीजिएगा।
श्योर।
बट आई एम गोइंग टू शेयर दिस क्लिप, पर्टिकुलरली आपके लिए ये क्लिप कट करके मैं आपको जरूर भेजूंगी। सर, फिटनेस की अगर बात करें, आप इतने फिट हो और इतना डिसिप्लिन लाइफ जी रहे हो, अगर फिटनेस की बात करें, ये फिजिकल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन तो आपका फेनोमेनल है ही, इसमें कोई दो राय है ही नहीं, बट मेंटल स्पेस में कितना इफेक्ट पड़ता है इसका?
मेंटल फेज में एक्चुअली देखा जाए तो यू नो मैं पहले से ही एक स्पोर्ट्स प्लेयर रह चुका हूँ। आप लोग को ये नहीं मालूम होगा कि मैं इंडिया के लिए टेबल टेनिस भी खेल चुका हूँ, मतलब इंडिया तक के रैंकिंग में पहुंच चुका था जब मैं सब जूनियर में था। मैं असम, बीइंग अ पंजाबी, मैंने असम टीम को कैप्टन की तरह रिप्रेजेंट भी किया है नेशनल्स में। तो मैं बहुत प्रोफेशनली टेबल टेनिस खेलता था। अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो स्पोर्ट्स हमारे कंट्री में इतना अप्रिशिएटेड नहीं होता जितना बाकी स्पोर्ट्स होते हैं। बट मुझे बेस्ट कॉलेज में एडमिशंस मिले थे, मैं वही कॉलेज में पढ़ा हूँ जहाँ राहुल द्रविड़ पढ़े हैं। और वैसे ही जितने भी डॉन बॉस्को हो गए, वो सब मेरे को बिकॉज ऑफ माय स्पोर्ट्स के कारण मुझे सब अच्छे कॉलेजेस में पढ़ने का चांस मिला। मैं उससे ही थैंकफुल हूँ। स्पोर्ट्स ने मुझे बहुत डिसिप्लिन सिखाया है। तो और मुझे हमेशा बोला है कि फाइट बैक, प्रैक्टिस एंड डोंट लुक बैक, कीप ट्राइंग। तो वो सब चीज मेरे अंदर उससे आई है और मैं वही अपने प्रोफेशन में भी अभी यूज करता हूँ। और मैं किसी चीज से डिसअपॉइंट नहीं होता। और मैं अपने यंगस्टर्स को भी बोलूंगा लाइफ में कि मेक मिस्टेक्स, बट मेक मिस्टेक्स विद कॉन्फिडेंस, खाली बिकॉज द गेम इज ऑल अबाउट कॉन्फिडेंस।
Sir, your final message to your fans from the Bollywood, also from your the fans from South people.
My final message is first to the South one ki thank you for appreciating me, and to my
Sir, something in Tamil or maybe Kannada.
Tamil kunjam kunjam thariyo, so I am not so much familiar with that. But मैं
Okay, ma'am.
उनको पता है, उनको मालूम है कि जब मुझे डायलॉग्स दिए जाएंगे तो तरुण सर इतनी अच्छे से रट्टा मार लेंगे कि वो पता भी नहीं चलेगा कि तरुण सर बोल रहे हैं और कोई बोल रहा है। तो
Okay.
माय पावर इज दैट कि मेरे को अपने आप नहीं पता था कि मुझे जब डायलॉग्स दे दिए जाते हैं साउथ के, मैं उनको रट्टा मार सकता हूँ और उनको मैं याद कर सकता हूँ और मैं डायलॉग डिलीवर कर सकता हूँ। ये नया टैलेंट मुझे अपने आप पता चला है। बट मुझे लैंग्वेज थोड़ी थोड़ी समझ आती है जब वो बोल रहे होते हैं, बट मैं कुछ इतना ये नहीं बोल सकता। बट मेरी पिक्चरों की कोई कोई डायलॉग्स मुझे याद है, मगर अभी तुमने स्पॉट में डाल दोगे तो फिर वो डायलॉग्स भी रॉन्ग आ जाएंगे। अभी तुम गन्ने के खेत वाला भी डायलॉग बोल तो बाकी ये है
सर
कि
तो आप
साउथ वालों के लिए थैंक यू। बॉलीवुड वालों के लिए भी बहुत थैंक यू कि मुझे अंशुमन की तरह आप लोग ने मुझे इतना लाइक किया। बट मेरे माइंड में एक चीज चल रहा है कि अंशुमन वापस आएगा, आपको
ओ
बताएगा कि
वाह
अंशुमन का क्या हुआ ये 15 साल में। और that is what I've been thinking and I've been putting things on my thought, and I think you all will like it because it's totally new Anshuman
सर
with a new।
यू आर यू इनडायरेक्टली सेइंग कि जब वी मेट 2 आ रही है?
मैं इनडायरेक्टली जब वी मेट के बारे नहीं बोलूंगा, पिक्चर का नाम नहीं बोलूंगा, मगर वो एज गुड एज जब आई लेफ्ट है। तो जब अंशुमन वहां से निकला था उसके बाद अंशुमन का क्या हुआ, बिकॉज आई रियली वांट टू सिंपैथाइज विद लॉट ऑफ मैन हु आर हार्ट ब्रोकन इन आवर कंट्री। कोई उनके साथ सिंपैथाइज नहीं करता, उनका मजाक उड़ाते हैं कि अरे लड़की तो बटी नहीं भाई, ये सब। बेचारा उसके हाल क्या हुआ होगा, उसके अंदर में क्या गुजरी होगी, या उसके अंदर में कौन सा ऐसा
सर
फायर।
आपके माइंड में कोई स्टोरी लाइन है फिलहाल?
बहुत अच्छी है क्योंकि मैं काफी सालों से ये स्टोरी लाइन सोच रहा हूँ इसको।
ओके
तो ये सरप्राइज है, इस साल मेरा यही चैलेंज है कि मैं ये कुछ ऐसा कुछ कर सकूं कि आप लोगों को अंशुमन का वो पार्ट दिखा सकूं जो आप लोग ने नहीं देखा है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर। Thank you so much, Tarun sir, for joining me on my Instagram live, and it was really a superb conversation with you talking this evening. Thank you so much.
Lovely, wish you all the best and
Thank you,
God bless you.
sir.
You look as pretty as your smile and whatever, your lovely words. And I
Thank you, sir.
hope I can interview with you again.
बिल्कुल सर, एंड आई होप कि फिटनेस का जो भी आपसे मेरे को एडवाइस मिला है, आई अप्लाई ऑन माई लाइफ, इन माई लाइफ एंड ऑन माई बॉडी। थैंक यू सर।
Take
थैंक यू सर।
Bye, guys.
So yeah, this was Mr. Tarun Raj Arora, the very own Mr. Anshuman from Jab We Met, and लक्ष्मी में तो आपने इनका देखा ही है, बहुत ही पावरफुल कमबैक रहा है। तो इसी तरह मेरे साथ जुड़े रहिएगा, नेक्स्ट लाइव में मुलाकात होगी। और मैं आपको अभी से बता देती हूँ, नेक्स्ट लाइव 7 फरवरी को है और इसकी डिटेल्स जो है इंस्टाग्राम स्टोरीज में पोस्ट में मिल जाएंगे। एंड ये बहुत ही खूबसूरत एक्ट्रेस है, तो मिस मत कीजिएगा 7 फरवरी को। इस बीच मेरे रील्स वीडियोस देखते रहिएगा। और जिन्होंने मेरा आज का लाइफ मिस कर दिया है, दोज हु हैव मिस्ड माय लाइफ टुडे विद मिस्टर अरोरा, यू कैन वॉच ऑन यूट्यूब। यूट्यूब की लिंक मेरे प्रोफाइल में है, एंड ये आज का एपिसोड कल शाम तक मिल जाएगा आपको यूट्यूब पे। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग मी लाइव।